month ago, we never heard of a superstorm. Now, Superstorm Sandy is part of U.S. history. The devastation is so widespread that she will likely reshape many coastal communities for future generations. With us today is Tim Dillingham, Executive Director of the American Littoral Society. There we go. Thanks, and good to see you again.
Good morning, Mia.
But not necessarily under these conditions.
Unfortunately, no. It's we've suffered through a tragic and trying couple weeks in the last couple weeks.
I mean, you and I have both seen so much of the devastation from Hoboken, Staten Island, down to the Jersey Shore and Queens. I mean, why was this so different? I mean, we know we had the full moon, but why is this storm so significant now?
Well, I think from a sort of a weather perspective, or how hurricanes usually behave, this one was different in that it came ashore, came right across the Jersey coast at Atlantic City. Usually hurricanes give us a glancing blow, they're offshore. And that lessens the impact of the wind. This one came right across the state, and as you said, came in at a high tide, came in under a full moon. Most of the damage we've seen was from the water, from the storm surge, and not from the wind.
And, you know, again, we've seen so much of it, but it's so incredibly widespread for people who haven't necessarily been here. What do you see as how many houses have been destroyed, and how FEMA is going to help these folks?
Well, the storm unfortunately taught us a very, very harsh lesson about the vulnerability of how we've built and developed along the coastline. FEMA, the Federal Emergency Management Agency, just released numbers on Monday, 75,000 houses in New Jersey alone. The governor of New York is estimating $30 to $50 billion worth of economic damage in his state, similar in New Jersey. So the storm showed us that we've built too close to the water. We have over the years destroyed the natural features such as dunes and beaches, the tidal wetlands that protected us. If you look at the natural areas, the state parks along the coast, they look much like they did. The sand's been moved around, but there's not a lot of what you would call destruction. It's where we had houses, where we knocked the dunes down in order to get better views of the beaches, or built on the edge of the water. Well,
let's just say, take New Jersey. They have 127 miles of coastline. It's a $37 billion industry. What now? I mean, we look at the pictures and we say, what now?
Right. Well, I think we have to find a way to reduce the risk to people and to property. We can't bear these kind of costs time and time again. I think it's reasonable, given what scientists are telling us, that we'll see these kind of storms again. So we should take the lesson, learn how to live sort of more resiliently along the coastline. And I think that means rebuilding in a much different way than what the shore looked like in the beginning of October.
What do you think is going to happen? I mean, it's going to probably take several years to rebuild, but do you see, I mean, some towns have lost 20 to 30% of their tax base.
Right. Well, I think it's going to be a very difficult and emotional discussion, because obviously the natural reaction is to want to go back and to put your home back in place, to put your beach house back in place. My organization was washed out of our offices in Highlands, New Jersey. We lost our office in Broad Channel and the Rockaways in New York. I have staff people who are homeless now, living with relatives. So we all understand the pain there. But I think the goal has got to be to not let this happen again. People lost their lives this time, and we were lucky that more didn't. I think we can find a balance between our love of the shore, our love of the ocean, and the economy that we've built around being there, but also making ourselves safer, making those properties that are there not quite so vulnerable to this kind of destruction.
So you do think we'll see storms like this again in our lifetime?
I think the scientific community is telling us that hurricanes and storms like this will be more frequent, more intense. The ocean is warming, that contributes to it. So I think the warning signs are there, the lesson is there. We really do have to figure out a new way to do this.
So what do you think will be proposed? I know there's a lot of things on the table right now and a lot of things being thrown out there, but some people are saying you have to raise the houses and have condos all over. I mean, where do you see this going for not just New Jersey, but for New York?
Well, I think it'll be a mix of things. I think because the coast is so varied, there'll be sort of local solutions. But I think places that are very, very hazardous, where houses have been destroyed before, may go into open space. They may go into new coastal parks. I think we'll find new sand dunes built as part of beach nourishment, reestablishing the beaches. In New York City, I think we'll find new techniques to protect the subways, to protect the businesses along the downtown area. And I think building standards will be different. I think it'll look like North Carolina in certain places. The houses will go up on stilts. We'll have breakaway walls on the first floors. We'll rebuild the infrastructure so the power lines are underground.
Well, Katrina has been called the costliest storm in U.S. history at $100 billion. Do you see Sandy exceeding that?
I think it will. I think the estimates now are $50 billion. I think as things play out, as we try to look for these solutions as to how we rebuild, the prices will only go up.
I guess the only good thing that has come out of this is that Sandy has taught us how to make ourselves safer and has raised that discussion with many people now.
Well, it's an opportunity, and I think we need to take advantage of that opportunity.
Well, always good to see you, Tim. Thanks so much for being here on Ebru Today.
Thanks, Mia.